here beating up women. That's your style, all right. Women and children, that is. But I don't quite beat you for no trigger man.
Every time I do your show, I always end up with something I never sat in before.
I was lying in the tall grass, just watching the world.
Lola Folana was once a big star, known for her beauty and talent. But what happened to her? Why did she leave a lasting impression on her fans? What made her stand out so much in the entertainment world?
Easy, Daddy. Let's let me say you had it as good as I did. Would you give...
Was it her acting, her dancing, or something else? How did Lola manage to keep her fans' attention for so long? Let's dive into what made Lola Folana so unforgettable.
Took dancing lessons, ballet, jazz, tap, African, Cuban, everything that they teach I took. And by the age of 17, I was a runaway. I left home.
Back in the 70s, Lola Folana was the epitome of talent and charm, a true triple threat. I mean, we're talking about someone who could belt out tunes like nobody's business, act circles around her peers, and had brains, wit, and beauty to boot. Born in Camden, New Jersey on September 11, 1942. Lola grew up in a family of 6 children. Her dad, Bennett, was Afro-Cuban and worked as a welder after serving in the U.S. Marine Corps. Her mom, Cleo, was a skilled seamstress. Even as a young girl, Lola showed she had special talents in dancing and singing. She started dancing at just 3 years old and joined the church choir when she was only 5. Lola's mom, Cleo, saw how much talent her daughter had and always supported her. Even when Lola was in junior high, she performed in nightclubs, often with her mom by her side. When the family moved to Philadelphia, Lola kept dancing at nightclubs even though she was close to finishing school. However, Lola knew she wanted to follow her dreams of being a performer, so she left Germantown High School before graduating and moved to New York City to try her luck in the entertainment industry.
And the reason I was dancing in all these little clubs is because I had to pay my bills. But I had never thought a little dancer could be a star.
You know, there's always been this big question mark about whether Lola Folana was more into singing or acting, right? Like, if you're not exactly a spring chicken, you might remember catching her in flicks like Lady Coco. But if you dig into the history books, it's clear that music was her first love.
Every time I do your show, I always end up with something I never sat in before.
Sammy Davis Jr., that legendary man, actually spotted her talent first and hooked her up with a gig in the Broadway hit Golden Boy. And he even helped her land a deal with Mercury Records, where she dropped her debut single, My Baby. Sammy and his pal Frank Sinatra were like her fairy godfathers, paving the way for her success. But let's not forget Lola's small screen domination, especially when she was all over TV, whether as a guest on talk shows or lighting up the screen on classics like The Love Boat. No matter what she was up to, Lola was one of those entertainers you just couldn't forget.
Thank you. Oh, now I need a drink of water.
Lola's career kept growing, and she even toured Europe, where her singing and dancing impressed audiences, especially in Italy. She was so loved there that they called her the Black Venus. Lola didn't stop there. She moved to Hollywood and landed a role in the movie The Liberation of L.B. Jones. This performance earned her a nomination for a Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year. Lola's fame reached new heights when she appeared in Playboy magazine and became the first Black woman to appear in Fab's Tigress perfume commercials. She was a trailblazer in many ways. Lola's TV career also took off. She appeared on shows like The Joey Bishop Show and The Hollywood Palace, where she showed off her dancing, singing, and comedy skills. She also made appearances on The New Bill Cosby Show, where she had a connection with Bill Cosby from their college days. Lola went on to appear on many other popular shows, including The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, Laugh-In, The Muppet Show, and The Flip Wilson Show. These shows were famous for combining comedy sketches, music, and special guest stars, and Lola fit right in. Lola Folana was once at the peak of her career. She was on top of the world, performing on TV and making big waves in the entertainment industry. But as life sometimes goes, things took a sudden turn. One day, she was banned from all the major talk shows, including The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, a show that had been a huge part of her rise to fame. Fans were confused. What happened? How did she go from being a star to being shut out of the spotlight? The rumors started quickly. Some people said Lola had done something wrong, something that made her unfit for talk shows. Others speculated that it had to do with her close friendship with Wayne Newton, a famous singer who had a public feud with Carson. Did Lola get caught in the middle of their fight? In Hollywood, who you're friends with can make a big difference in the opportunities you get. There were also whispers about things that happened behind the scenes of The Tonight Show. Could Lola have had a disagreement with someone important in the show's team? These behind-the-scenes moments often shaped what the public saw. Some even thought that Lola's success, especially as a black woman in a mostly white industry, might have made some people feel threatened. Could this have been an attempt to keep things the way they were, without shaking things up? But there was another simpler explanation. Someone once showed a picture of Lola on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. In the picture, she was wearing an outfit that some thought was inappropriate for the show. Could this small mistake have led to her being banned from appearing on Carson's show again? For a while, Lola had visited Carson's show regularly. The two of them seemed to get along well, laughing and having fun together. But one day, her manager told her that she was no longer welcome on The Tonight Show when Johnny Carson was hosting. The reason? It wasn't something Lola had done wrong. It was because of her close friendship with Wayne Newton. The whole thing seemed crazy. Could Lola really be banned just because she was friends with someone? The story goes that Wayne Newton and Johnny Carson had a huge fight. It all started when Newton bought a hotel in Las Vegas that Carson had wanted. This only added fuel to their already rocky relationship. It got to the point where Newton walked into Carson's office and demanded that Carson stop making jokes about his masculinity. After that, Carson refused to have anyone close to Newton on his show. This included Lola Folana.
And I said to Mr. Carson, I said, I don't know what friend of yours I've killed. I don't know what child of yours I've hurt. I don't know what food I've taken on it. These jokes about me will stop, and they'll stop now, or I will kick your.
But Lola wasn't the only one on Carson's bad list. There were other celebrities, too, who were banned from appearing on the show, including Charo, Rip Taylor, and Charles Grodin. It seemed like Carson had his reasons for banning people, but sometimes those reasons didn't even make sense. For example, Barbra Streisand was banned for a while after she made an excuse Carson didn't like. And Charles Grodin got banned after a joke about not being invited to a card game with Johnny. Eventually, after Johnny Carson retired, some of the people he had banned were allowed back on his show. It seemed like Carson had softened over time.
Every time I do your show, I always end up with something I never sat in before.
Despite the ban from The Tonight Show, Lola didn't let it ruin her career. She kept working hard and found success in other ways. She was still close friends with Wayne Newton, who had a long and successful career in Las Vegas. Expanding her horizons beyond American shores, Lola found herself catapulted to stardom in Italian television and cinema in subsequent years. Immersing herself in the vibrant Italian culture, she embraced the language and mastered fluency in Italian while gracing the screens in 3 notable movies. Among these was her debut in the world of spaghetti westerns, a genre that would come to define a significant part of her career. Simultaneously, Lola's presence lit up Italian television screens as she charmed audiences as a showgirl on the popular Saturday night mainstay, Sabato Sera, alongside the celebrated singer Mina. Her magnetic stage presence and undeniable talent earned her the moniker of the Black Venus, a testament to her captivating allure and commanding presence. Lola's TV career took another big step when she became part of the new Bill Cosby show in 1972. Bill Cosby, who had been a struggling comedian when they first met, picked Lola to be one of the main stars of his new variety show. The show was a huge deal, and it happened to air on Lola's 30th birthday. This was a special moment in both Lola's career and her friendship with Cosby, which went back to their early days when he was a struggling comedian and she was a young dancer lighting up the nightclubs of Philadelphia. Lola keeps her personal life on the down low, but word on the street is she had a 9-year fling with actor Bill Cosby back in the day. She's pretty tight-lipped about her love life, though, and hasn't spilled much tea on her romantic escapades. 9 years. Bill was once a huge name in comedy and TV. He rocked the entertainment world for decades, with his most famous gig being Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show from 1984 to 1992.
Hickory dickory dock.
Hickory dickory dock.
I don't know who broke the clock.
Now, in the entertainment industry, especially with a successful career, chances are your relationships will be put on blast, even your mistakes, regardless of whether or not you're a private person. The goes that Folana and Davis Jr. had a hot and heavy affair from 1965 to 1968, but decided to go their separate ways professionally in 1969 so she could focus on her career. In 1970, Lola tied the knot with Feliciano Butch Tavares Jr. from the R&B group Tavares. Sadly, their marriage hit the rocks, and they called it quits in 1975. For someone who had a pretty decent career in Famous, she kept her personal life mostly low-key. Lola Folana also experienced serious health problems. It all started when she noticed that her vision was blurry and she had trouble controlling her voice. By December of that year, after filming a Christmas special with comedian Red Fox, her condition got even worse. She tried to get out of bed, but she kept falling. Soon, the left side of her body became completely paralyzed. Doctors diagnosed her with multiple sclerosis, MS, a disease that affects the brain and nerves and has no cure. Because of her illness, Lola's manager had to cancel over $2 million worth of performances. In an interview with Jet magazine in August 1989, she shared how quickly her life had changed. She said, "One day I'm standing tall and listening to applause of fans, and the next day I'm a cripple lying in bed reading mail from fans." Instead of using regular medical treatments, Lola turned to other forms of healing. She found strength in her faith, her friends, and her family. She even stayed with famous singer Lionel Richie and his wife Brenda at their home in Los Angeles to help her recover. Comedian Dick Gregory gave her some advice about her diet. He suggested she eat fresh fruits and vegetables and drink plenty of water. Although Lola was in a lot of pain, she stayed active. She lifted weights, used a stationary bike, walked on a treadmill, climbed stairs, bounced on a trampoline, and did physical therapy. Just a month later, she started to feel better. Although she went through 5 more serious episodes in the following year, her illness eventually went into remission. In early 1988, Lola told Jet magazine, "I could always get up and move my body and make a living or just feel good about myself. Then I woke up one day with a crooked face, a crooked mouth, and dragging limbs. And I said, okay, it's not about physical prowess and glamour anymore. All the gifts that you counted on are no longer present. So I took inventory and I looked in my little bag to see what I had left over. I had one jewel left in the bag. The brightest jewel of all, I had the gift of faith."
And asking God, why? Why is it going so far? Why don't you do something? There's a little baby in somebody's stomach. There's a lot of babies in somebody's stomach right now. It should be a safe place.
As she started to recover, Lola began to change in other ways too. She realized that her physical beauty and fame were not as important as her faith. In an interview with People Weekly, she explained how she found a new sense of peace. One day, her car pulled into a Catholic church parking lot. When she walked inside, something inside her seemed to say, "Welcome home." In early 1990, Lola shared at a speech in Chicago that she had decided to leave her career behind and live a life of faith. She had been celibate for about 13 years and felt called to become a nun. In a March 1990 interview with Jet magazine, Lola explained how she no longer wanted to live the glamorous, sexy life that she once did. She said, "When I was growing up, I wanted to be like everything I saw in the movies. Hot, sassy, sexy. I went and studied hard to learn how to be hotter and sexier. Now I don't want to boogie when I walk. I don't want to shake that thing anymore. I just want to be a lady."
In the 70s, I remember throwing myself down on the floor and crying to heaven, "Take this away from me. It's empty. I'm miserable."
Lola's journey continued when, on Christmas Day in 1991, she converted to Catholicism at a Carmelite convent. She had seen a video about the stigmata and had a powerful experience that made her want to change her life. She moved back to Philadelphia, leaving her glamorous lifestyle behind, and lived a simple life with her mother and stepfather. She wore a simple crucifix instead of fancy clothes. Later on, Lola began a new tour. This time, she didn't perform like she used to. Instead, she gave motivational speeches and talked about her faith. She also made a video called Bridging the Tears, which discussed the emotional pain after an abortion. In the 1996 documentary Miracles and Visions, Fact or Fiction, she even talked about how people believed she had experienced a miracle healing from MS. In 2002, Folana started the Lambs of God Ministry, a Catholic outreach program. The ministry partnered with Save Sub-Saharan Orphans, which helps the 13 million children orphaned by the AIDS crisis in sub-Saharan Africa. SSSO provides orphanages with shelter, medical care, and education for the children, including over 1 million who are living with HIV/AIDS.
And you look at all these weather phenomena happening, everybody's saying, what's going on, what's going on? I think God is preparing the way that will bring his son back.
Back to her career. In 1970, Lola made her highly anticipated American film debut in The Liberation of L.B. Jones, a milestone moment in her career that garnered critical acclaim.
Oh, yeah, beating up women, that's your style, all right. Women and children, that is. But I don't quite beat you for no trigger man.
Her compelling performance earned her a nomination for the prestigious Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year, Actress, further solidifying her place in Hollywood. During this period of artistic exploration, Lola made waves by gracing the pages of Playboy magazine, breaking barriers as the first Black woman to be featured as a model for the Fabergé Tigress perfume ads. Her striking presence and undeniable talent captured the attention of audiences and industry insiders alike, cementing her status as a trailblazer in the world of entertainment. Venturing into the realm of cinema, Lola starred in several films that became emblematic of the blaxploitation genre, showcasing her versatility and range as an actress. Her captivating performances resonated with audiences, establishing her as a formidable presence in Hollywood's ever-evolving landscape. In 1978, Lola's star power was on full display as she graced the stage of the Val Air Ballroom, sponsored by Black Pride Inc., further solidifying her status as a cultural icon and champion of empowerment within the Black community. Her memorable appearances on these variety shows served as a springboard for even greater opportunities in the entertainment industry. Throughout the vibrant era of the mid-1970s, Lola Folana's star continued to rise as she graced the small screen with her presence, making memorable guest appearances on a plethora of beloved television shows. From iconic programs such as The Muppet Show to comedy classics like Laugh-In and The Flip Wilson Show, Lola captivated audiences with her magnetic charm and undeniable talent.
Easy, Daddy. Let me say, you had it as good as I did. Would you give it up?
Lola Folana is also known for her strong political and social views. In the early 1970s, she started to feel that acting in movies and TV shows wasn't enough. She wanted to do more, something that aligned with her personal beliefs. So she made a bold decision. She turned down 11 film offers in a row. Instead of continuing with her acting career, she chose to be part of Bob Hope's USO tour in Southeast Asia in 1972. This was a big deal because it showed that Folana cared about more than just fame. She was using her platform to support and entertain soldiers far from home during the Vietnam War. Besides her work with the USO, Folana also appeared in popular TV specials, including shows with Bob Hope and Liberace. These appearances were a chance for her to reach a wider audience, but they also showed she wasn't just about acting. She was willing to put herself into different kinds of entertainment. Even though she didn't perform often, Folana tried her hand at music. In 1975, she released a disco single called There's a Man Out There Somewhere. It wasn't a huge hit, but it made it to number 67 on the Billboard R&B chart. Though music wasn't her main focus, it added another layer to her career. But Folana's time away from performing on stage didn't last forever. After nearly 10 years of focusing on TV and film, she was hesitant when her manager pushed her to join the Broadway musical Dr. Jazz. After some thought, she agreed. And though the show only lasted 4 nights, she was nominated for a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical in 1975. This was a huge achievement and proved that even when things didn't go as planned, Folana was still a force to be reckoned with. Her career took another turn in 1976 when she starred in ads for Fabergé's Tigress perfume. She was the first black woman to represent a major perfume brand. The campaign was so successful that Folana won a Clio Award and made more than $1 million from it. This marked a high point in her career and helped push her into even more spotlight.
I was lying in the tall grass, just watching the world pass.
In the late 1970s, she had a series of television specials, and while they were popular, they didn't lead to a permanent TV series. She decided to change managers and hired Mark Moreno. Over the years, Folana continued to use her fame for good causes. She appeared in charity events like the Lou Rawls Parade of Stars and the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon. She also supported causes like education and muscular dystrophy. In 1984, Folana joined the CBS soap opera Capitol, where she played a character named Charity Black. This role showed her range as an actress, but after a while, she stepped back from the entertainment world. At 82 years old, she hasn't performed in over 20 years, and many people no longer recognize her name, though she left a lasting impact on those who remember her. She broke barriers for black women in the entertainment industry. In the 1960s and 1970s, she was a powerful and funny role model for young black women everywhere. She didn't just perform, she used her career to make a difference and stand up for what she believed in. Interestingly, when Folana chose to step back from show business, it created a sense of mystery around her. For many of her fans, she became even more of an icon, a symbol of strength and resilience. She faced challenges with grace and dignity, and in doing so, she became a role model not just for her talents, but for her personal growth as well.